Does anyone wish to offer an amendment? Okay, there's an amendment.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, sorry, I have an amendment at the desk.
Oh, so moved. There's an amendment at the desk. We'll briefly pause while staff distributes the amendment.
I have it here. Okay.
Okay, the clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 4305.
Without
offered
objection,
by-
the amendment is considered as read, and I now recognize Representative Scholten for 5 minutes on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the best parts of the Small Business Committee is how often Democrats and Republicans can come together to solve real problems facing Main Street. Small business owners don't cut corners to get results, and most of the time, neither do members of this committee. Unfortunately, with the Dump Red Tape Act, committee Republicans have rushed a flawed bill to solve a problem we could be addressing on a bipartisan basis. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. It's been said several times today. If there is no greater bedrock in this committee, it is that. And we all agree that they need support in navigating the complex web of challenges that they face every day. Maintaining a hotline that will help small business owners report some of their most significant hurdles is a good idea. It's already in practice and something that Democrats and Republicans can continue to do in a bipartisan fashion. The problem with today's bill is that committee Republicans are trying to codify a hotline where it seems that anyone, small business or not, can register a complaint. And that's because they get reported to Congress anonymously. And the complaint has to be about a specific regulation. So the real problem is individuals from lobbying firms, attorneys, representing major businesses can register complaints here anonymously under the guise of being a small business. Large businesses themselves can come here and register these complaints anonymously. Is this really about helping small businesses, or is this a suggestion box for billionaires? If we're going to spend taxpayer money on running this hotline, it is our job to make that hotline help real small businesses with real challenges. The Dump Red Tape Act needs significant changes to meet that bar. And today I'm offering an amendment to get us one step closer to legislation that is worthy of the small businesses in our districts. My amendment addresses a concern I hear from so many business owners in West Michigan. Running a business is challenging, and doing so in an unpredictable economic landscape is even more difficult. President Trump promised to lower prices starting on day one, but instead he has implemented a series of tariffs that have created chaos and real costs for entrepreneurs. As the costs of materials have jumped across the board, small businesses have borne the brunt of these policies. I know my Republican colleagues have heard it too. As currently written, the hotline under the Dump Red Tape Act permits submissions on burdensome rules and regulations, but it does not allow for submissions on executive actions like tariffs. My amendment to the Dump Red Tape Act will allow small businesses to submit concerns to the hotline about executive orders and proclamations relating to tariffs. We should not be afraid to receive this feedback. We should not be limiting the uses of the hotline, especially when tariffs remain one of the biggest challenges small business owners deal with on a daily basis. The Trump administration has already set up a hotline that has received 96 submissions. Unfortunately, we do not know what these submissions are about. As the ranking member pointed out, they could very well be about tariffs, rules, or non-payment of government contractors, not just burdensome regulations. This committee and the people that we represent deserve to know what those submissions are about. If we're going to pass legislation to make this hotline permanent, we need to ensure that it can receive submissions accounting for all of the very real challenges of small business ownership. My amendment would help to do just that. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment. We want to make this hotline work and be a real tool for small businesses to connect and make real change. I yield back the remainder of my time.
Gentlelady yields back, and is there further debate on the amendment?
Yes.
Representative Weed, yeah, you're notified.
As a former small business owner for my entire lifetime up to this point, I would say the purpose of this bill is to give our hardworking small businesses a voice in exposing overbearing regulations that hurt our small businesses from growing. Tariffs are a matter of national trade and foreign policy, overseen by Congress and the administration, not the SBA. Tariffs right now they're used to protect American industries, enforce fair trade, and respond to global imbalances in trade. They're not red tape. They don't impose compliance paperwork or permitting delays that continue to hurt small businesses, including presidential tariff actions that would turn the hotline into a political complaint desk about trade policy. That undermines its credibility as a neutral, business-focused tool. Congress already has oversight mechanisms for tariffs and trade policy. Our bill avoids duplication by keeping the hotline focused on regulations. If every tariff proclamation is subject to hotline review, it signals to foreign competitors that U.S. trade policy is fragmented and negotiable. That weakens America's hand in trade negotiations and could harm the very small businesses the amendment claims to protect. I urge my colleagues to vote no on this amendment.
Gentleman yields back. Is there further debate on the amendment?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. McGarvey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield my time to Congresswoman Scholten.
Mr. Chairman, most small business owners don't necessarily know the difference between a regulation, a point of law, or the tariffs that are harming their small businesses, but they sure know what is impacting their bottom line. This committee should not be afraid to receive feedback and further to know what is included in those 96 complaints that have already been received. This is a common sense amendment that would open this up for small business owners to be able to have the freedom to share with this committee how we can best help them. I yield back.
Is there any further debate on the amendment?
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Cisneros is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, I just want to address the issue. We do need, the one thing that I hear from my small businesses in my district is just give us stability. I need stability. But when we have a president who makes a whim on a tariff and raises them for Canada because he didn't like a commercial that he saw during the World Series, that's no stability there, right? That is not what our small businesses are asking for. And they need to be able to kind of make that complaint and bring it forward, and that is something the Office of Advocacy should be reporting to us in Congress so that we can help address these issues. But with that, we just want to make this bill better. Give the small businesses the opportunity to report what they are hearing and have the SBA come to us and tell us what they are hearing, which is not happening now with the way that the way this is working now. With that, I yield back.
And yields back. Is there further debate on the amendment? Okay, the ranking member is now recognized to speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I lend my support to the amendment offered by my colleague, Ms. Scholten. The amendment would allow small businesses to submit concerns about tariffs and require advocacy to report on its action to limit the burden. The Office of Advocacy is the voice of small businesses. It's not limited only to complaints about regulations. It's open to anything that impacts small businesses. The 96 submissions to the advocacy hotline could have easily been about tariffs, but we don't know. The chairman doesn't know. I just asked him. He hasn't seen any of the submissions. The administration didn't provide the information to us. So if we are here passing legislation based on what we hear and what the SBA want to tell us, but not to share the specific information, we need to do better by small businesses. Tariffs, not regulations, are crushing small businesses. Small businesses all across the country are shouldering the costs of the Trump tariffs. The cost of goods is rising exponentially, making it harder and hard for small businesses to do what they do best: create jobs, innovate, and flourish. Despite promises made by the Trump administration to lower costs on day one, President Trump's policy have inflicted pain on every sector of the small business economy. And where is the Office of Advocacy when small businesses are under siege? Nowhere to be found. I strongly support the amendment, which would allow us to get a better understanding of how many small businesses are contacting advocacy about tariffs and see if advocacy is advocating for them. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady yields back. I now recognize myself to speak on the amendment. As my colleague mentioned, the amendment is unnecessary because the red tape hotline needs to be targeted to address the regulatory burdens Main Street is feeling every day, not what is defined in this proposed amendment. I urge my colleagues to vote no on this amendment. Now, the question now occurs on the amendment offered by Representative Scholten. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the
Mr. Chairman, I request a recorded vote.
members recognized, and a recorded vote has been requested. A roll call vote is ordered. Further proceedings on the amendment are postponed.